morning, Chase Academy Middle School, and welcome to Wednesday, May 6th, and it's time to head off to Washington, D.C. No, really, if we were in 8th grade, this is where our trip would be going. We'd be there for 3 days. So for the next 3 days, I'm going to feature some of my favorite things about Washington, D.C. because I love the city, I love the trip, and 8th graders, I don't want you to have to miss out on some of this little bit of experience that we would have had. So, welcome to Wednesday, May 6th. It's an A day. Let's get started because I'm going to show you some great things about DC as well as some other school announcements. So, here we go and let's get rolling. All right, a couple quick school announcements, then we're going to get to the DC stuff. So, 6th graders, on Friday, you and your parents are going to be making a language selection. I've sent you an email with some videos that you can watch, listen to teachers, listen to some Form 2 students share about their experience so you can have an idea of what language you're going to do for the next 2 years. So make sure that you check those out. All right? 7th graders, you're going to have to pick your music and athletic selection. Same for you 6th graders. So make sure you're checking out so you know what you're going to do next year for our 3 terms in athletics and the music you're going to pick. So go to the website, go with your parents, check out the parent portal, and get ready to do that on Friday. Hey, today's Special Friends and Grandparents Day, so I hope you're having a great time with them in your advisory. I look really forward to hearing about some of those things that are happening. So have a great Special Friends Day. Grandparents, Special Friends, we're so glad you're with us today. Hey, shout out to 7th grade math petitions. I keep getting more of these tin people coming in every day. So keep up the great math work, figuring out squares and areas and all that and putting it together. So great job with all these different creatures we're seeing. Keep it up. So Form Tours, when we go to Washington, one of our first places to stop is the Capitol Building, right? It sits right up in the heart of Washington, D.C., and it's one of my favorite places to visit. There's so much to see here. From the artwork inside, when you stand in the rotunda and you look up inside, you can see this great picture of George Washington. Surrounding the rotunda, these pictures that tell some of the stories that are part of our American story. But this is where the senators, 100 of them, and our 435 representatives meet and do their business. And some days when you're here, you can actually see them walking the halls or in their chambers doing work. One of the other great places is Statuary Hall, where they have all of these collections of statues representing 2 from every state. And these are significant people that played a role in their state. So it's really cool. Now, I will tell you a little creepy thing is originally down in the basement here, this is where they planned to bury George Washington. George Washington is not buried here. He's down in his home in Mount Vernon, just a short distance from the Capitol building. But that was originally called the Crypt, and that's where George Washington would be buried. So if you get to Washington, D.C., I definitely recommend that you check out the Capitol. The other really cool thing is on top, the statue on top. This is a great piece of artwork, and there's some really cool history about it. And I might share that little bit of trivia with you in another video. Hey, thank you for allowing me to share some of this artwork that we've seen these last couple days. Today, I'd like to share the artwork that Caden created in his look at the Holocaust and thinking about what he learned. And so I just want to share a little bit of his words with you about his piece as well as what he was thinking. I think our eyes are one of the most powerful conveyors of emotion. Personally, when I think of the Holocaust, I have 2 conflicting emotions. The immediate one is sadness. Sadness for the Jewish people who lost their lives. Sadness for the Jewish people who survived but lost all of their family. And sadness for the soldiers and families of soldiers who gave their lives fighting for freedom and democracy. The second feeling that I get is anger and resentment towards the Nazi Party. I feel this way because of the mass genocide that these people committed. But I also feel this way because somehow they kept a clean conscience even while murdering millions of innocent people. I feel angry that people could think that stripping people of their most basic human rights is okay. However, you cannot just think about the atrocities committed by the Nazi Party because you'll lose faith in humanity. You must also remember that millions of people fought to give those rights back to those who were stripped of them. I think that the image I created symbolizes those feelings. Caden, thanks for letting me share this. To Sophia and Madeira, thank you for letting me share your art pieces. I really appreciate the thoughtfulness and the comments that you made and the art that you've created. And to everybody, keep thinking, keep working hard, keep making connections. That is what learning, and that's what we're all about. So thank you all. Keep up the great work. One of the last places I'm going to take you today, and this is typically what we do when we get there the first day. We are walking all day, and it is a full day 8th grade. And one of our long walks is through Arlington Cemetery. Arlington Cemetery is a national military cemetery, and it too is one of my favorite places to visit just because of all the history. Part of it is the history of all of these men and women that served to protect and defend the United States through all kinds of different conflicts. It dates all the way back to the Civil War, when part of this land belonged to Robert E. Lee, and when Robert E. Lee fled to go fight with the Confederacy against the Union, well, his grounds, his home, and this area that people would walk on was turned into a cemetery for Northern Civil War soldiers. That created quite a stir in the Lee family. Later, it became adopted for a place where soldiers who fought in active service could be buried from World War I to World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq. You'll find them all here. There are also memorials for people, for example, who died in the Challenger explosion, and there's a memorial to them. Or several soldiers who lost their lives in the deserts of Iran when they tried to rescue hostages that had been taken in the American embassy in the capital city of Tehran, Iran. One of my other favorite parts is the changing of the guard. This is an amazing ceremony as these men and women protect the tomb of the unknowns that stands as an example of the men who didn't come back, who weren't able to be identified. And so these soldiers took as their task defending and protecting that tomb as an honor to those men and women that served and those men and women that never return because that they're lost or can't be found. And so this tomb is guarded night and day, and it's an amazing ceremony to watch and to think about. Again, the sacrifice that so many have played so that we can have the freedom of religion, the freedom of press, the freedom of speech, the freedom to have our rights protected by courts and lawyers. It is quite an honor to have these men and women, and I am so thankful to have this opportunity to share a little piece of something that's important to me, to you, so that when you get the chance, please go to Washington, visit these sites, visit Arlington Cemetery, and think about the role that these men and women played in protecting your life, in creating a United States that we live in, that we can work every day to make better and better. All right, so that about wraps it up here on Wednesday, May 6th. Hey, huge shout out to Julia Monaco. She stumped you all. She was at Frida Kahlo's house in Mexico City. Nobody got that right today. So that gives me an opportunity to share you all my favorite sites of Washington, D.C. So keep watching, keep checking in. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'm going to have a couple more in the morning. So 8th graders, you might want to look at those. But I'll see you all again on Friday. Thursday, conferences, be there, share some insights of how things are going, check in with your teachers, get a little work done on that day. But today, have a wonderful Wednesday. It is May 6th, it is an A-Day. Buckle up, tune in, turn on, and go get them.